So about a year and a half ago, I did a review video of one of those cheap Chinese LED lights that I had bought. And they had advertised it for 200-watt LED, right? And so I think I spent $70 or $80 for it, and they sent it to me. And when I unpacked it, it was really crappy quality. So anyway, so I did a video on this, and I was not happy with that quality light at all. Somebody must have noticed that video, and I got an email from these guys. They'll say, hey, so you advertise lights on your YouTube channel. Can you do a review of one of our lights? And I'm like, I guess. And I said, look, I'm not paying any money. If you want to send me a light, I'll do a review on it. But if it's crap, I'm gonna tell people it's crap, because I don't want to do the whole, you send me free stuff and I'll give you a great review, and then you can send me more stuff. I don't do that, because I don't believe staged reviews. Especially when people get paid for it. So I want to give the disclaimer right up front. They sent me this light for free, and I told them I was going to do a review, and so here it is. So this is a 30-watt, and again, I was a little skeptical because, you know, I mean, no disrespect, generally speaking, the quality is not really that great. It's just like my other video that I had done up a year and a half ago. I mean, it was crap. It definitely wasn't worth 60 bucks. And so when they sent me this one, I looked it up, and they sell this one, I think, for like $60. And I'm not sure if it's Canadian or US. I think it's Canadian because I think they sell it on Amazon.ca. But in any case, so I got the box and I unpacked it, packed it, and this is what it looked like. And I'll bring you in a little bit closer. Here, I'll show you the box. So it says Werise, I don't know how they pronounce that. IP65, and it was actually, it's the 30-watt that they sent me. And so I unpacked the box, and this is what it looked like. Now, I do have to say, again, compared to, I was expecting the same cheap quality of the other one that I did the review on, but I took it apart, and actually it feels solid. It feels like the handle is solid. It doesn't wiggle. It's got decent Allen key bolts in here, and the side here comes off for the stand, and it is waterproof and dust proof. And if you flip it around, you can see at the bottom here, there's the switch. Now, the one thing I did notice is the little sticker here. It looks like that was just printed out. Come on, focus, buddy. It looks like they just printed it out on some sort of a laser printer and then cut it. Like you can see the lines are actually kind of crooked a little bit. So that's the only thing so far that I've been able to detect that was not really the greatest quality. But so far, just the feel of it, it feels nice. It feels rugged, and it's fairly heavy. So when you turn it on, here, I'll focus it over there. Now, just so you guys get an idea, the little yellowish is actually from the sun. It's right now, well, it's 4:30, 4:40, and you can see the sun is starting to go down. So it's right around sunset. It's not super bright out anymore, but it is still bright enough. And this is actually the sun shining against the wall. You can see here's the light. Let me turn that one off, just so you can see the difference. Okay, so it is quite a bit darker. That's what the difference looks like with just a regular, I think there's two 13-watt light bulbs in there, the LED or incandescent. And so I'm going to flip on the switch there at the bottom, and I'll show you. So it actually does light up the room quite well. And if you want to compare to the sun before, I'll turn it off again. You see, here's the sun, and of course the camera will adjust. And you see the light over there from the sun. And I'll turn it back on. And it definitely, you can't see anything anymore. So it outpowers that sun for sure. Now, back here in the room, if I flip it around, you can see it quite well where it goes and where it doesn't. The ceiling. And again, it's hard to see on camera, but I would say it's definitely a 30-watt LED. At least they advertise it properly. I haven't opened it up yet. I'm not sure if I got a chance to do that for this review, but you can see that it definitely lights up the room very nicely. I would say comparable to that 200 watt LED, which really wasn't 200 watts. It's at least as bright. Now, one of the things that I was not actually expecting is that it is a cordless one. So I can take this cord and actually plug it in. Here, turn this back off again. And flip it around. There. So I can actually plug it in, and it has a battery inside of the light. Let's see if I can hold this and plug it in at the same time. There we go. Okay. So that comes in really handy. You can see here is the charger, and it's red right now because I've had it on for a couple of minutes, but I had it fully charged, and that comes in really handy because when I was painting this wall, it was in the middle of the night, and we're out in the country here, and I was running my pump, my airless sprayer, and of course it was pitch black outside and the power went out. Now, I had a generator, just a small 3500 watt generator, but because of the way that the pump works, I had that 200 watt, well, fake 200 watt LED light plugged in into the generator, and at the same time I had the pump plugged in, and I was trying to paint this, and every time that the pump would go woo, 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 the LED would go down and up and down and up, and I mean, it was bad. It was really, really, really difficult to see what I was doing because my eyes were just adjusting to bright and dark and bright and dark, but I had to get it done. So when I got this light here and I realized that it was actually battery powered, rechargeable batteries inside, I'm like, man, I wish I had had one of these lights. I could have just set it up right here, turn on, and that would have given me perfect light while the generator was powering the pump and flickering the power of the generator. This light would have stayed solid, and for hours I could have finished painting this room, which would have been really, really nice. So anyways, overall I would say I am actually surprised, because I've seen the bad and I've seen the good, and overall I'm pleased with this. Now I think I mentioned it, they sell it for I think 60 bucks. Now whether I would spend $60 or not on it, I would say if I knew, just like this, if I knew that it was this kind of quality light, I would probably spend 60 bucks on it, especially because it has the rechargeable. I don't have to have it connected to a power outlet. And it is definitely bright enough for just a everyday general, construction in pitch black. And so yeah, I'd probably spend $60 on it. Kind of curious to see if they're going to send me one that's a little bit bigger. Like I had ordered 100 watt, and I wouldn't mind trying out 100 watt and see how that compares outside. But overall, yeah, I'd probably spend, you know what, 50 bucks would be nicer. If it was $50 Canadian, I would say yes, definitely. $60 without really actually knowing what the quality was like, I probably wouldn't buy it. But now that I do know, I probably would. If I really needed it for $60, I cannot get one as nice with the battery inside that's rechargeable in a local hardware store. I'd probably pay $85 or $90 plus taxes, so over $100 equivalent or comparable to this one here at 60 bucks. So that would be my review. I'm happy with it. It's definitely solid. It feels solid, it looks solid, and I have been pleased with the way that it handles. And again, I love the battery power of it. Now what I'll do is I'll take it outside and I'll show you how bright it is outside. Let's see here. Alright, so I'm out in front of the cabin. You can see the moon up there. I'm not sure if let me zoom in a bit and see if you can actually see the moon. Yeah, there we go. There's the moon. So it is getting darker outside. the clouds. Just want to give you kind of a general idea of how bright it is. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it like knee height, and I'm going to shine it down onto the ground. There, you can see that for sure. I'll go a little bit further up. So now I'm pointing it right, that spot there is maybe about 10 feet away. Turn it on, and it's still noticeable. So if I go higher up, I would say I can tell a difference of the light probably up about 20 feet or so. If I point over there and off, you can see now I'm pointing to it, now I'm not. Pointing to it, now I'm not. Close up, definitely you can tell the difference. So I would say effective area outside without it being pitch black is probably at least 20 feet all the way around. And I'm happy with that. So overall, I'd say, yeah, I'm happy with the light. Okay, so my daughter is playing with her stuffies, and this is a bright sun shining into the porch. I'm going to turn the light on. I'm about a foot and a half away. There, now I turn it on. Now I turn it back off, and I'm not sure if you can tell on video, but I can actually tell when the light is on and when it's off. So at about a foot and a half or 2 feet, it does even outpower the light from the sun, and this is a bright day. Here, I'll show you. Blue skies. There you go. And again, we'll do one more time, and I'll keep my elbow in there so you can see a little bit of a difference there. There. So now it's on. Now it's off again. Now it's on. Now it's off again. Okay, so I decided to set my settings on the camera to manual. And right now I'm using 1/100th of a second exposure at f5.6 and ISO 2000 settings. Now this is my basement, and I have a light bulb underneath the stairs that's about 100-watt equivalent, and then I have 2 ceiling lights. Each one of those is 60-watt equivalent. And now I'm going to turn on the light, and I have it right here in front of me, so it'll be the same distance as the camera. This is what it looks like with the light on, and this is what it looks like with the light off. I'll go find a different setting and I'll set it up there. Okay, so this is the drum room, or our little spare bedroom, and I have in this room one ceiling light that's approximately 60-watt equivalent, and the room itself is about 7.5 feet high. The ceiling light is right up here. You can see right there it is, and I'm just pointing down towards the corner into my drum set. That's about 6 to 8 feet away from the camera, and I have the light right beside the camera. I'm going to turn that on. There you go. I'm going to move the camera, or the light, around a little bit. And I'm going to hold it right up to where the light bulb is right now. It's right up at the ceiling. And I'm going to come back over to the camera itself. And it sits right on top of the camera right now. I'll see if I can find a third location to give you a good idea of how bright this light actually is. So this is our kitchen, and I've turned on every single light that I can in the kitchen here. I have under counter lights all the way under here. Then I have 2 lights over the sink. I have 1 in the center of the room, and then I have 4 pot lights. 1, 2, 3, and there's another one right up here. So this, the very corner of the kitchen there probably is about, I guess, about 20 feet away. And I'm going to put the light right above the camera. I'm going to turn it on. There we go. And I'm going to move it around a little bit, so it's not reflecting. There, you can even see the light shining right there. If I hold it up, and I'm going to hold it over a little bit, and as I twist it and turn it, you can actually see the reflection in the cabinets there. It's quite bright, but if I turn it, there, I'll show you. So right now it's reflecting, but if I turn it, and now I'm going to move it up, and now I'll hold it just like this and turn it off again. So that'll show you the difference of how much light this puts out. Now I'll walk around a little bit so you can actually see me in the frame and see me moving. There's the lights. Coming close, and if I go further away. And the under counter lights, as I come closer, it will outshine those. You can see the shadow of the cabinet as I move the light. That should give you a fairly decent idea of how bright this is. And if I hold it right up to the light at the ceiling and I turn it off, I mean, it's really nice and bright right now, but with this, it's a lot brighter. Alright, so I've had a couple of weeks to work with this light, and I have to say it is incredibly convenient to have this operated by via battery and not have to plug it into the wall. We got a shed out in the bush, and I had that set up to work on my my little four-wheeler, and it was perfect. Now, the one thing that I noticed is that after having used it for a bit, this leg starts to wiggle a bit, but again, it's not a big deal. You just take a little Allen key and tighten these bolts there. They're pretty solid. The other thing is it fell out of the back of the van, and you can see here this this little knob, it just shattered. So now it just perfectly fell right on there. But what I do wish they had done, as you can see, it's kind of hollow. I do wish they had taken a little bit extra material and made this a solid knob so that you can drop it and it won't break. It's not a big deal. I can still tighten it and stuff, and this is what it's supposed to look like on the other side. But other than that, I'm actually really happy with it. I would definitely recommend it. Not sure I personally would spend $70 just because I'm a little limited with the budget. But if for someone that uses this quite a bit and they want a good quality light, it certainly does seem quite solid and well built. Overall condition, I'd say I'm pretty happy with it. So I hope this helps someone. Thanks for watching.